Hey, I'm Andy MacNeil, host of the Puck Portfolio, Canada Sports Betting's new hockey podcast. I'll be here weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcast, providing NHL projections, betting advice, and strategies to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. Monday, October 18th is in the books. I made a terrible bet on the New Jersey Devils. The things that indicate whether you made a bad bet or not all went against me. I had no closing line value, and I guess for good reason because New Jersey did not look interested in playing hockey on Monday. They almost came back, though, scoring three unanswered goals against the Panthers in the third period. But I could have gone without that if I'm being honest. Just lose 4-0 next time. Don't tease me. Fortunately, everything has been going right in my favor for the Buffalo Sabres, who I grabbed on Monday morning at plus 130. Recommended down to plus 110 as the current closing line value is pretty massive. The Sabres are now a minus 115 favorite. Buffalo isn't anywhere close to a good bet at this point, though. Now that they're the favorite, I've got them locked in as an underdog, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. So we're doing all right. Let's hope the Sabres can get the dub against the Lightning on Tuesday. But let's move on to Tuesday's games. We took an early look at the projection model and Tuesday's odds on Monday's show. Thanks for tuning in again. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you have not already. We're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, and I think we can hit that mark by the end of the week, if not the end of the day, with your help. So thanks again. I really appreciate it. But anyway, let's get talking about the games today. I think what we're going to do here is take a look at some of the projections first. As I mentioned on Monday's show, I'm on the Sabres plus 130 for 2 units. There's a big difference between plus 130 or even plus 120 or plus 110 and something like minus 115, which is what we're seeing now at sports books. In fact, there's around a 10% difference between the implied probability of my odds plus 130 and that of the sportsbook odds, which is about as good as you can get when it comes to NHL money lines. So if you're still considering a bet on the Sabres, don't do it. Not at the current odds. I've got them projected to win the game 51.7% of the time, and that means minus 107 is a fair price. In other words, the Sabres were a good bet yesterday when they were an underdog. They're not a good bet today as a favorite. If that does not make sense to you, think about it like this: bet numbers, not teams. Hit that like button if you manage to get a good price on the Buffalo Sabres. Next up, we've got the Minnesota Wild in Montreal to take on the Canadiens. The Wild are without their best young player, Matt Boldy. He's week to week, and I've got Marc-Andre Fleury projected to be in Minnesota's crease. Meanwhile, Canadiens forward Kirby Dach suffered what sounds like a serious injury in Saturday's game, and that's really too bad. The kid cannot catch a break here, it seems. He'll be out long term by the sounds of things. No reason to bet either side, though, according to the projection model. Then we've got the undefeated Vancouver Canucks in Philly to take on the Flyers, and the projection model likes Vancouver a little bit here. In fact, at the current odds, minus 135, I believe down to minus 130 at this point at a lot of shops. It grades out as the best money line bet for Tuesday's slate right now, but the market does not think so, right? I mean, that's why the odds are where they are. Someone with influence has bet the Flyers. They like the Flyers, and they've taken that underdog price. I originally had Samuel Urson, the backup goaltender, projected to make his first start for the Flyers, but I've sort of started to lean towards Carter Hart, and I've updated my projections to account for Hart starting more often than I thought he would in the first place. It's a guessing game, of course, but I do have Canucks goaltender Thatcher Demko projected to be in between the pipes for them. Again, I spoke to a pro better friend who is actually from Vancouver. He loves the Vancouver Canucks, and he does not think there is any value at minus 135, which gives me a bit of pause for sure. I don't want to live in an echo chamber here, right? I've got two bets locked in already, the Sabres and another one that I'll talk about here right away. And I like those bets a lot more than I like this bet, but I think I might do something with this a little later in the show, so stay tuned for that. Arizona, they could not get past the Rangers on Monday, losing 2-1, but they continue to show some signs of improvement. And I said on Monday's show that they'd be a good for a small bet against the Islanders with Karel Vejmelka rested and ready to start. But the odds move so quickly and so much that I didn't even get a bet down on the Coyotes myself. Arizona opened up north of plus 200, which is, where I was starting to get interested in them at. And they have since been bet down to plus 150 at some shops. So no bet on this one. And I doubt that's going to change. I do have a bet on the Edmonton Oilers, though, the winless Edmonton Oilers, that is. I grabbed the Oilers at minus 135 at Betway to win 1 unit while updating my projections on Monday night. I shared that this morning on Twitter at Digital Gambler. Follow me. But mentioned that Edmonton was only good up to minus 140 and for a smaller stake. That's a tough price to find. It was a tough price to find then. But as of the time of this recording, Betway is still offering the Oilers at minus 140 on the money line. So a good bet there, but not to win 1 unit. I would risk to win about 3/4 of a unit on the Oilers at minus 140. And no bet on the Los Angeles Kings, who the projection model lists as a plus 113 underdog. Winnipeg currently a minus 130 favorite. So there's no bet to be made on the Jets either. Connor Hellebuck is confirmed to start in goal for the home team, so you don't have to worry about that. And some money coming in on the Avalanche, which isn't all that surprising given how Seattle has struggled to score, but I'm closer to betting on the Kraken here, which I really don't like. And I don't think it'll get there, though. I hope it doesn't, at least, because Seattle has been really frustrating to watch this season. The projection model sees them as a plus 127 underdog, and that means I'd probably be looking for plus 140 or better before I'd consider making a bet on the Kraken to beat the Avalanche. And not a lot of interest in the Hurricanes here as a big favorite against the Sharks. Mackenzie Blackwood confirmed to start in goal for San Jose, while I expect Frederick Anderson will be back between the pipes for Carolina. The model lists the Hurricanes as a minus 273 favorite, giving them a 73.2% chance of winning. That's more or less what the sportsbooks odds tell us too. So no bet there. And closing out Tuesday's card is a game between the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. Will Rupe Hintz play? That's the big question. Like, you've got to ask that question if you're thinking about betting the Stars, or alternatively, if you're thinking about betting on the Vegas Golden Knights. The forward missed the team's season opener in St. Louis, and my guess is that he makes his season debut on Tuesday in Vegas, but it's totally still up in the air. I lean that way because it seems like Hintz was on track to play in the season opener last week, but nothing has been confirmed from the team yet, so something to watch there. He's probably close, though, and the projection model sees the Stars as a plus 110 underdog if he's in the lineup. If not, Vegas would move to around minus 120, depending on some other factors, so give or take a couple of cents. But there would be some value betting on the home team if that's the case, so watch out for that. Vegas currently listed at minus 110 at a lot of shops. All right, now as far as Wednesday goes, there are only 2 games for us to bet on, but we'll take an early look at each game and see what's available. And on Wednesday's show, we'll look ahead to Thursday's odds and projections. So make sure to tune into that. Subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel and turn on notifications to get an alert when the next episode drops. All right, first up, the Washington Capitals in Ottawa to take on the Senators. And I've got the Senators projected at minus 139. They're a good home team, and they've looked really good overall in the early going here. I still question how good they'll be against elite teams like the Carolina Hurricanes, but Ottawa should dictate the pace of play in this one, control puck possession. They should do that against most teams on most nights. The projection model sees them as a minus 139 favorite, though. And by the looks of things, that means there's probably not going to be a bet on the Senators in my future. On top of that, Tim Stützle was not on the ice for morning skate on Tuesday, which means the forward might miss Wednesday's games. That would change the Senators' projected odds from minus 139 to minus 120. Give or take a cent or two, depending on some other factors. There might be a bet on the Detroit Red Wings, though, as you see on the screen in front of you. Detroit has looked good through their first 3 games, and I do think they should be an underdog here on Wednesday when Pittsburgh comes to town, but there's value at plus 115 odds with Ville Husso expected to be back between the pipes for the Red Wings. The projection model has this game closer to minus 105 in favor of the Penguins. That means a fair price for the Red Wings plus 105, so about 10 cents of value there on the current line. I'm skeptical that this number will be around for long. Just a couple of shops have posted this one so far. And so I might simply parlay the Canucks. I know I said I was going to do something with the Canucks a little later. I might parlay the Canucks at minus 130 with the Red Wings at around plus 115 if that's possible. That way I can try to capitalize on some of the smaller edges that I have here. One that I'm not really in love with, the Canucks, and another one that I might not be able to bet if I wait too long, the Red Wings, at least until other sports books put up odds. So that does it for Tuesday's episode of the Puck Portfolio. I'm on the Sabres plus 130 down to plus 110. I was giving out on Monday's show. One more reason to watch each day. And I'm also on the Oilers at minus 135 up to minus 140. Vancouver's money line is worth watching on Tuesday, as is Detroit's on Wednesday. But I could see myself locking in those two bets together in a two-teamer. If I do that, I'll let you know on Twitter at Digital Gambler. So give me a follow. I'll see you on Wednesday for a full breakdown of Thursday's NHL lines and projections. Thanks again for joining me.